All right, let's talk about something I see all the time, both in my classes and in the industry. This rush to get the answer, especially with all the AI tools we have now. But I want to show you why the real magic, the thing that will actually define your entire career as an engineer, happens in the moments before you ever see that solution.
So let's just cut right to it. I want you to ask yourself a really honest question. Are you training yourself to be a problem solver? Or are you just getting really good at finding answers that other people have already figured out? Because believe me, those two paths lead to completely different futures.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about this trap that's so easy to fall into. It's called the illusion of understanding. It's that feeling you get when you look at a solution and think, oh yeah, that makes sense. I get it. It feels like a smart shortcut, right? But what's really happening is that you're robbing your own brain of the chance to do any real learning.
See, when you look at an answer right away, it gives you this false sense of confidence. It leads to what scientists call shallow procedural learning. You learn how to copy the steps, you recognize the surface level pattern, but you have no idea why it works. The opposite is deep conceptual mastery. That's when you understand the underlying structure, the why behind the what. And that's the only thing that will help you when you're faced with a problem that looks a little bit different.
And this is the bottom line, really. Every single time you jump straight to the solution, you're making a trade. You might solve today's homework a few minutes faster, sure, but you are actively making yourself less prepared for the much harder, much more important problems you'll face tomorrow and for the rest of your career.
But here's the cool part. There's a much better way, and it's backed by a ton of science. It's a method that takes that frustrating feeling of being stuck and turns it into your most powerful learning tool. It's called productive failure. And don't let that word failure scare you. This is where the magic happens. It's the simple act of trying, of wrestling with a problem on your own before you're shown how to do it. That struggle is like a workout for your brain that prepares it to learn in a much deeper, more permanent way.
So, what's actually happening in your head when you do this? Well, you're forced to come up with your own ideas. You test them out, most of them won't work, and in that process, you discover exactly what you don't know. You feel the gaps in your own understanding. So when you finally see the correct solution, it's not just another piece of information. It's the answer to a question your brain is already asking. It just clicks into place and it stays there. And look, this isn't just some nice theory. This is hard science. A massive meta-analysis looked at, get this, 53 different controlled studies, and they all found the same thing. Over and over again. Students who struggled with the problem first showed a significant, measurable advantage in their learning. The data is crystal clear. Productive struggle works. This right here, this is the mindset I want you to adopt. That feeling of being stuck, that frustration, that is not a sign that you're failing. That's the feeling of your brain building new pathways. It's you getting smarter in real time. It's not a setback, it is a genuine cognitive advantage.
Okay, so that's the learning science. But how does this actually make you a better professional engineer out in the real world? Let's connect the dots from the classroom to your career.
When you struggle with a problem, you're forced to build a skill called metacognition. It's a fancy word, but it just means thinking about your own thinking. You start to have an internal dialogue. Okay, what's my plan here? Is this actually working? Wait, that failed. Why? That ability to self-monitor and self-correct is a way better predictor of success than raw intelligence. It's the hallmark of every expert engineer I've ever known. And this is what you're actually getting paid for. No one is going to hire you to solve the problems that have a nice, neat answer in the back of a textbook. They hire you for the messy, ambiguous, unfamiliar problems where the path forward isn't obvious at all. And the only way to get good at that is to practice thinking for yourself when things are uncertain.
So, what does this mean for you tonight with the work you have to do? How do we make this real? Let's treat this for what it is. This is your training ground.
I want you to think of these as your new professional standards. First, do not, I repeat, do not look at the solution right away. Give your brain a chance. Second, actually try the problem. Put pen to paper. Third, write down your thought process, even if you know it's wrong. And finally, when you do look at the solution, use it to fix your broken thinking, not to replace your thinking altogether. Ultimately, you're standing at a fork in the road. You can choose the path of just following answers. It feels faster for sure, but that knowledge is temporary, it's shallow, and you'll forget it almost immediately. Or you can choose the path of thinking for yourself. It feels slower, it's harder work, but the understanding you build is deep. It's permanent. It becomes part of you. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought.
Every single problem you are assigned in your education has two goals. The first, obvious goal is to get the right answer, but the real goal, the one that will shape your entire future, is to use that problem as an opportunity to become the kind of engineer who can solve a brand new one, the one no one's ever seen before. That's the price. Use this time to go win it.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.